if it is the heart of the
sorry.
house, what? Finish your thought.
Well, I'm saying it is the heart of the house. Then you still don't want an open concept. You want like
Yeah.
Anyway,
You know what else is
saying?
an open concept?
What's that?
Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to Pixelit. My name is Kevin. With me, as always, is Phil. And on today's show, we're diving into Metro 2033. Look at that.
Woo! Very nice. I'm still waiting on my copy.
By Dmitry Glukovsky.
There you are. I really assumed that it was my fucking computer again, my internet again.
Yeah, it was weird because it was still uploading from my side too. It was still like recording and everything, and you were just like, god damn it,
yeah,
piece of shit.
You gotta look behind the curtain.
God, yeah. So
frustrated. Okay,
I thought you were saying "oh no" to the fact that I said I was gonna have. So what I just finished saying was Dmitry Glukovsky, and then you said the name correctly, and I said I'm gonna have a mess of a time pronouncing the Russian names, and you. The immediate thing I hear is, "Oh no!" Like I didn't know that. That we were that upset about that.
I didn't. I'll do better. I promise. Wow.
I'll do better.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, but you know where you can go to learn how to pronounce Russian names is patreon.com/pixelitpod, where you can follow us for free or give us $1 to get access to Phil's blog and the episode, the ad-free version of the episode. $5 gets you access to the bonus episode, and $10 gets your name shouted out in the episode. And to that end, I want to thank And You're Hiding, Song 85, Jesus Loves You, Kyle Seaman, Ruthless Mutter, Middle of Things, Sigma Sal, Sanguine Flatulence, Shy Halud, Chet Beaks Dummy Thick, and Friendly Friend. Thank you so much for being a friend. That's right. The sandworm from Dune is now... No, it's Tim. It's Tim. It's Tim.
I could have guessed. And I did. Love you, Tim.
Oh God. So, who is who's Dmitry? What's his deal?
Dmitry Glukovsky. He's a Muscovite. He's a Russian from Moscow. He's just a few years older than us. So he was born into the Soviet Union, and he actually wrote Metro 2033 when he was like 18 years old. Like this is similar to our Disco Elysium kind of situation, where it's just like a passion project of a young speculative writer. Since then, he's been doing very well for himself. He writes a lot of speculative stuff. A lot of it still based around this Metro world that he's created. He's written for some comic books based around it, and he's written some other stuff. And this is obviously an inspirational novel, but he also wrote the novelization of one of the games, Metro Exodus.
Right.
So he's done it from both sides, if you will. And he actually, one of the more interesting things about him is he is on the run from Russia.
Yes, I saw that when I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, he's been talking shit about Russia and its invasion of Ukraine, and he has been out of the country since then. I haven't been able to find out where he is, but I wouldn't have said anyway, because let's keep this dude safe, because he's doing some badass shit.
Yeah, last I saw, he goes between a few different places.
Good for him.
So yeah.
That's cool as fuck. Like that's like, yeah. I can't go home because the corrupt government wants me in jail. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. And so it seems like there are 3 main Metro books: 20, 33, 34, and 35, and then there's like spin-off projects.
Right.
as you said, the adaptation of Metro Exodus, and he's credited for a couple screenplay things, including there's a Metro 2033 movie that was in production that ended up canceled. Yeah, it was canceled, but he wrote the screenplay for it before it got canceled. So
nice. Well, he does mostly dystopian stuff, so even stuff that isn't based in the Metro world still has a lot of that feel to it.
Right.
It's a shame that the movie got canceled. I feel like a low budget. You don't want to spend too much money on it, but like
you don't want to spend too much money on Metro. And here's the thing: I don't think you need to.
No, exactly.
It seems like you could make I would say, you know, who would have been perfect for this is John Carpenter in the Assault on Precinct 13 era. John Carpenter.
Yes.
Would have done a bang up job on Metro 2033.
Absolutely. That's the mindset you have to have with this one.
Yeah.
Just cheap, gritty, grungy. Don't spend too much money.
Yeah. So the game itself came out in 2010, which is 8 years after the book came out. Was it 2002 that the book came out? Yeah. He was a baby when the book came out.
It's crazy. It's and the fact that he's kept up with it and is still writing and that sort of thing is extra impressive.
Yeah, I mean, it makes me think of, what is it? Who is that guy? Aragon, the Aragon guy.
Not sure.
Aragon, the Christopher Paolini. Published the same year.
Books. Yeah.
Aragon.
Was he really young when that came out?
He was really young. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I think what year was he born? He was born in 1983, so he was 19.
Wow. You know, that's the thing. As a writer, I'm glad that I've only that I never got the attention I craved so badly in my 20s. Because I was writing a lot of garbage and a lot of self-indulgent crap, and if somehow that spoke to somebody to the point where it got attention, I would have to be doing, now in my 40s, I'd have to be doing some serious backtracking and recovery work, because so you know, bless them for getting it that early on and doing well with it, because that, I guarantee you, that's not everyone's destiny in that sort of situation.
100%. Yeah. So the game it's a first person shooter, which when I first thought to do this book, all I had ever done, I'd seen a little bit of the game, and I was like, okay, well, let's see how far the apple falls from the tree. So like the Witcher games, which, you know, that's a game that comes from a book, are pretty good in that, because they're RPGs, you know, so they have this very they can be very story heavy and hew a little bit closer to the written text. Whereas the game Metro 2033, from what I understand, it ends up following the plot relatively closely. It's just funny because when you start it, it's like, here's a gun, kill the monsters.
Right.
And it's like,
yeah.
So, and we're, you know, fucking 100 pages into this book. Artyom hasn't shot his gun once. In the first 100 pages, and there's some of the scenes that we will cover today happen in the game. They just don't. They're just. It's like they'll happen in the game, and then the game is like, and also here's a gunfight.
Right. Which, I mean, that's pretty. But yeah, as we're going to see, this book gets into a lot of philosophical thoughts.
It's a very I was gonna say it's a very introspective book as opposed to like go Artyom, it's your birthday.
Right.
Shoot the monsters. So I guess with that being said, we'll go ahead and put the body in the marsh.
Let's marsh this body.
When I tell you to dump a body in the marsh, you dump them in the marsh.
All right, Chapter 1, The End of the Earth. We're introduced to Artyom, our protagonist, while he is on patrol with another man, Pyotr Andreevich, as Pyotr is chastising him for not opening fire on some footsteps that were heard off in the distance. Pyotr mentions how another station, Polozhevskaya, was slaughtered recently, and now they might get the same treatment because Artyom led a possible scout getaway. For punishment, Pyotr considers making him run into the tunnel, which is a terrifying thought to Artyom. So they're at the 450-meter mark of the northern tunnel, and Artyom thinks about how it's like nobody goes past 700 meters in the northern tunnel. Nobody knows what darkness lies up there. Pyotr tells the story of Polozhevsk. Good boy. All right. I got it once. Polozhevskaya. How their scouts started disappearing one day, and then they started reinforcing their defenses. They asked another metro station, Begovia, for help, but by the time the first runner got there, a second one arrived to tell the Begovians that the defenses at Polozhevskaya were destroyed, as if everyone had been killed in their sleep. Begoyeva, fucking hell.
These are just going to happen, people.
These are just going to happen.
This is just going to happen.
Begovaya ended up demolishing the tunnel in between the two settlements. After the story, Artyom agrees he should have shot whatever it was he heard in the distance. Another group of patrolmen stop where Artyom and Pyotr are hunkered down, and Pyotr recounts what just happened. The new patrolmen bust Artyom's balls a little bit, and then we get some backstory on Artyom. He was born on the surface, but lived with his mother in a place called Timizhevskaya until he was 5. And then a wave of babies, a wave of rats ate everyone.
Oh, yeah.
A wave of rats ate everyone.
Yeah, they called it like the brown wave at one point too, and I was like, okay, first, gross.
Wave of rats. Yeah.
Wave of rats.
Just wriggling mess of rats just came in and consumed. Artyom's mother gave him off to some men who were escaping before she died, and those men got to another station. And that station had a flamethrower. And what are rats weak to? Fucking flamethrowers. And that just cooked the rats, and that was that. That was that.
He cooked the rat, and that was that.
What's the Warhammer game that is? It's fantasy Warhammer, where you're fighting the rat, the rat dude,
Skaventide.
The Skaven, yeah,
Skaventide, yeah. That's
Skaventide or Rat Tide or whatever.
Or Skaventide, because the rat race is called Skaven.
The Skaven, yeah, Skaven. Warhammer,
the ultimate horde army, a horde army to defeat all horde armies. You need 1,000 goddamn miniatures to play that army, from what I understand.
Yeah, but yeah. So the reason why the Skaven aren't a race in Warhammer 40k is, well, they have flamers,
right? Overwhelmingly easy to take care of that. Yeah.
Overwhelmingly easy to take care of. You know, it's just a pestilence problem at that point.
Right.
In this moment, we're also introduced to the idea of the people who used to work in the Metro are treated with more dignity and respect than others because of their knowledge of the tunnels. Mm-hmm. The Metro was a system of tunnels and stations that people took to after the end of the world and basically became divided up into warring factions underground. Some states fought with each other, others joined federations, and others struck deals. Mushrooms, chickens, and pigs are the main crops of the people down below. And from the world above, the ruinous rays of sunlight turned fauna into the spawn of hell. That's a quote based directly from the book.
Like, it's pretty excellent. Like, just the feeling of taking, because every other horror or anything, story, the daylight, the sunlight is your hope. It's what you're aiming for, the literal light at the end of the tunnel. And this was like, oh no, it's the fastest way to die, the sunlight. So don't even bother with that shit. It's like, oh my God, that's pretty great, actually.
It's amazing. The group of patrolmen drink tea together. I should note that they were drinking mushroom tea. They specify that real tea is way too expensive to drink for like any reason. Andre asked Artyom about his stepfather, Sukhoi, who recently had returned from an expedition to the south. Sukhoi was the man who had saved Artyom years ago during the rat surge. Things get a little heated as Andre talks shit about the traitors. Not traitors, but traders, the guys who trade things, before they turn their attention back to whatever Sukhoi might have seen on his expedition to the south. Artyom is coy for a moment before spilling the tea, because they're drinking tea, about how two settlements, Rizhkaya and Alexeikaya, are interested in joining a union with their own settlement, which this settlement is I listened to it in the audiobook. It's like Vedunkt or Vedankt or something like that. It's like four capital letters, but the way the guy was saying it was a word. So I'm just kind of skipping right over that one.
I don't blame you. Yeah, that's fine.
And we get this big lore dump about the nature of the surrounding stations for a bit. Which ones were Soviet style? Which ones were anti-communist? The main ones that it talks about is called the Communist Red Line and the Anti-Communist Hansei, which had a huge war in the years prior. Pyotr tells a story about the time how any travel required constant document checks and how he almost ended up being put against the wall for being a red spy, only to be saved by happenstance when the guard who wanted to shoot him takes him to his boss, and it turns out to be Pyotr's old friend from grade school. Andre cracks a joke about how, oh, wow, I thought you were going to die. Like, it's kind of a funny moment because he's like, oh, you didn't die? It's like, clearly. Then they hear a sound and everybody starts talking. Andre takes a light and goes after it into the darkness, but doesn't shoot. They begin worrying over him for a moment, and when he comes back laughing, and he brings a puppy back with him. The thing that Artyom saw earlier was just a little puppy dog.
Puppy.
Andre brings the puppy to the fire, and they start fawning over it while trying to figure out where it came from. They wonder if the Dark Ones keep pets and what it could have possibly been eating. They surmise that it was junk and carrion. They have another cup of tea while sitting in silence, listening to the croaking sounds of the metro tunnels. That's the end of Chapter 1. Chapter 2 is titled The Hunter. The chapter begins with Artyom imagining an attack from the Dark Ones and how futile it is as they are shot, but they don't back down from bullets and they keep steadily marching on. Artyom shudders, and then his shift is over. He heads back to the station while Andre's crew goes back to the 300th meter checkpoint with the new puppy. On the way back, a strange man walks up to Artyom and asks him if he knows Sukhoi. Artyom mentions that, yes, Sukhoi is my stepfather. And the man tells Artyom to tell Sukhoi that Hunter was asking for him before he walks off again. Artyom mentions to Pyotr that he thought the man looked familiar before moving on. Artyom goes back to the station where he lives, and we get a description of the tent city that people of the metro live in. As Artyom thinks about his stepfather's trips off to the other stations for work, his thoughts then drift to a trip that Artyom took and that he felt like he couldn't tell anybody about. When he was young and his friends decided to play at being stalkers, who were basically like superheroes of this world, and venture up to the surface through the Botanical Garden Station. And this is clearly our author is clearly referencing Roadside Picnic, or which is also the movie and the game based on Roadside Picnic are called Stalker. So, which is I think that's a pretty seminal, Soviet era sci-fi work. So, let's see. When he was young and his friends decided to play Stalkers, they go to the Botanical Garden station. They opened the gates and made their way up the escalator to the surface. And it was nighttime, and they stood out there for a few moments before hearing a howl and running back down. As they run down, they lose the rifle that they had brought with them, and they left the barrier open that separated where they are and the Botanical Garden. And then they lied at the checkpoint about how they lost their rifle when they got back to the cordon of the settlement. Artyom gets back to his tent and finds Hunter there, but Hunter is actually a monstrous ghoul who blames him for leaving the Botanical Garden barrier open years prior. Artyom tries to run, and then he wakes up. He's been asleep. Sukhoi wakes him up to introduce him to his old friend Hunter and tells Artyom to boil some tea. Hunter asks Sukhoi about what he's been hearing about death invading from the north, and Sukhoi tells him about the interactions with the Dark Ones and how they are able to induce fear into people without using any weapons. He then goes on a long spiel about how maybe humanity just needs to give up and leave the world for this new evolution of human to take over. It's like it's a wild speech, because he's like, you know what? They passed us. Good game, everybody, but it's over. What's it going to be? 10 years? 100 years?
It's true, and I think it's terrific writing in terms of like when you have lived underground for basically your entire life, hiding from these things that you don't know anything about. It's kind of like you're sitting there, all you're eating is pork and mushrooms. That's all these people eat because it's the only thing they can get underground. No carbs to speak of. Their brains are not functioning on the same wavelength. They do not have the same caloric intake. They're tired on every single level. So of course, after spending like decades underground like that, it's like it's the Joe Rogan moment where you're like, yeah, man, I think they just beat us, man. That's crazy. Like they just they out evolved. Yeah, man, that's crazy, right? That makes perfect sense to me. And you're right. It is a weird ass speech.
And then Hunter is, and this kind of endears me to Hunter right away, where Sukhoi gives this big old speech about how we should just give up, and you're like, oh, it's going to be that kind of book. And Hunter basically, his response is, shut the fuck up.
Right. Like, the fuck are you talking? Go fuck yourself. Jesus Christ. Trying to survive out here, you ass. Like it's terrific.
What happened to you? He's like, it's just amazing. He's like, you've given up since I last saw you. You used to always be about preserving culture as much as possible. Hunter then gives counterpoints, which I can sum up to as fuck you and fuck your evolution. So Sukhoi then goes out to refill the kettle, and Hunter asks Artyom his thoughts. Artyom asks him what his actual job is, and Hunter likens himself to a macrophage, eliminating invaders from a body. Sukhoi comes back, and they talk about ways to deal with the issue before Hunter asks Artyom to step outside with him. He asks Artyom about his thoughts on what he does, and Artyom's like, yeah, it's pretty cool. Hunter mentions that Sukhoi used to be a very brave man, but his encounters with the Dark Ones have psychically damaged him. Then Hunter says he wants to share a secret with him, but he needs one from Artyom first. So Artyom tells him about the Botanical Garden incident, to which Hunter says, well, you're pardoned, but you really should have been executed for that.
Yeah.
Hunter then tells Artyom his plan. He's going off to the Botanical Garden to try to put an end to the Dark One's threat once and for all, and he needs Artyom to go to a place called Polis to find a man named Melnik and tell him everything that Hunter told him. Hunter then gives him a metal capsule with a screwed up twist, and then I don't know, that's how it's described in the book. I don't know what it's supposed to be. And then he leaves to get some sleep. And that's the end of chapter 2. Chapter 3, If I Don't Come Back. Chapter 3 starts with a breakdown of work shifts at the Vedonk settlement, how the laws work there for the safety of everyone, and more background on why Artyom calls Sukhoi Uncle Sasha and not Dad or anything like that. Also, Sukhoi apparently doesn't really think much of Artyom's prospects or skills or mental abilities. Um, he's like, yeah, Artyom, he's just going to work in the tea factory.
Yeah, he's a nice kid, but he's dumb as a brick.
He's a nice kid, but Artyom meets up with his friend Zhenya, who was with him the day of the botanical garden incident. Artyom tells Zhenya about his shift earlier and the dog, and Zhenya tells Artyom about how weed has been banned at Prospect Mir Station, and any traders that are caught carrying it can face stiff penalties. And they're like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah. This is kind of a recurring thing. There's no, and it's, I believe accurate there, but there's no disaster or end of the world so shitty that humans won't find ways to make it shittier. With just random fucking rules. It's like, why? What purpose does that serve? Like, we live in hell. Like, let people get stoned. Like, if
exactly.
they could, and that's to say nothing of the fact that this is still a capitalist society.
Yeah,
like, they talk a lot about the communists and they're not great either. And sure, fine, good, but like, I don't know, man. I think we are underground, just scrapping together to survive. If there's a better time for us to just like
put aside our differences, and
exactly, each to their needs, and if there's a better time, I can't name it but there's still like, oh yeah, we gotta buy shit off each other. You gotta make a little money, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And money, by the way, in this world is literally bullets.
Yes. Specific.
They're bullets for they're bullets for a Kalashnikov. So Zhenya then also tells a story about a magician at Sukharevskaya, which Artyom doesn't believe. The magician walks through metro stations without any weapons aside from a penknife to cut up food, and talks about how to eat certain mushrooms for hallucinogenic properties, as well as how to cook them to be able to regulate the real world. The magician at one point warned a trader named Leka not to go into a tunnel, and he didn't go, and half the traders that went into that tunnel after the warning were killed. Then Zhenya goes into a ghost story, to which Artyom points out that they are living in an unending nightmare with the Dark Ones and other things, and yet Zhenya concerns himself with things like ghosts.
Right.
Which is great, because he's like, we're in hell, but you want to talk about ghosts. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And that keeps coming up. You pointed this out earlier. That keeps coming up too. Like, it's always like there's always some sort of campfire story going on.
Always a campfire story.
There's always one.
Zhenya tells the story of a ghost train near a line in Hansa that has no stations on it, and no living things go there. And Artyom is like, you believe this crap? Then he walks back to his tent to get a snack to take to work. At the tea factory, Artyom gets lost in thought about the mission Hunter is undertaking and the request Hunter made to him. Kirill, a new guy who was also with Artyom on the patrol earlier, mentions there is a caravan going to another location to help set up a telegraph line between the stations, and they are taking people who want to go and help. Artyom agrees to go because he sees it as fate that the caravan is leaving, coinciding with Hunter asking him to take on this mission. Artyom really just believes in power, the greater powers than himself, when it fits him.
Right. Yeah.
He's like giving Zhenya all this shit about believing in a ghost train, and he's like, well, this total coincidence must be fate.
Right. Your bullshit is bullshit. My bullshit is insightful and accurate.
Maybe Sukhoi is right. Maybe Artyom just really doesn't have much going on.
He might be. How old is he? He's like
20 something.
Yeah, Yeah, so of course he's an idiot. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
sounds pretty standard idiot to me.
Artyom has another nightmare with some weird, wild psychedelic imagery, and he also sees the ghost train before he has a vision of Hunter telling him that he has to do what he promised him. He wakes up and his stepfather comes in and asks if he's seen Hunter. Artyom covers for Hunter and then tells his stepfather that about the caravan that he's going on. Sukhoi doesn't think it's a worthy endeavor, but then he kind of shrugs it off and says at least he'll be able to see him off. Artyom gets emotional saying goodbye to his stepfather because he realizes with this undertaking he might never see him again. He lies and says he'll be back tomorrow night, and then he heads off with the group. And that's the end of chapter 3. Going into chapter 4, titled The Voice of the Tunnels. The group goes down the tunnel, swapping stories and lore dumping about fascists in Russia and those that might live in the tunnels now. Artyom, though, is wondering what his plan is getting is going to be on getting through to the external cordon of Rizhskaya so he can continue his mission. South of Rizhskaya is a wider metro area. The wider metro area opens up, and they're very cautious about the need for security. Artyom also thinks that although there is a relatively straight path to Polis, it would require cutting through the red line, which is a non-starter. We also learn about Polis itself, how it's located below the Lenin Library, and that many of the smartest people in the metro system live there, and how they also like send their stalkers up into the library to gather books and things like that.
It's kind of treated like the big city, basically. You know,
it's where all the wise men are.
Right, it's where all the shit's going on.
Yeah. Zhenya interrupts Artyom's deep thoughts while he's looking at the map. Artyom asks Zhenya where the fascists are, and Zhenya points at them on the map, and they're not in the way of where he has to go. They set off again on the rail. At some point as they travel, Artyom begins hearing a sound and stops the cart. No one else hears it, though, and they think he's just tired or hallucinating. They carry on, but then all the other members of the group begin to act weird. Artyom's mind isn't being affected by the sound, even though he's the only one who can hear it. Everyone is hallucinating. Artyom gets everyone back on the cart and continues with them forward when they all finally snap out of it. They don't remember what happened aside from feeling groggy. They make it to Rizhskaya where a feast is prepared. During the commotion, a man named Bourbon asks Artyom about the trap. Bourbon needs someone to come with him to the next metro station, Shukrovskaya, because a group left to go there the other day, but only one came back crying, acting much like the trap they had just uncovered. He's like, a mess. Bourbon wants Artyom because it doesn't seem like the noise affects him like it does other people. So it's like Artyom is a little bit of a chosen one type dude.
Yeah, a little bit.
He just happens to not be necessarily affected by whatever the mind warp that the dark ones do.
Yeah. He's got the magic powers, and I was waiting for it. We all were.
We all were.
We knew
Artyom's got to have a reason for being in this story. I'm like, there it is.
There's
the guy.
Is. Got it.
Has he fired his gun? No. Actually, They make fun of him for not firing his gun when he should have.
Yeah.
Is he particularly bright? Not really.
Nope.
Doesn't know where the fascists are.
Nope. Not even a little. Not even a little.
Not even a little.
Our hero,
Artyom. Let's go, buddy. Artyom strikes a deal with Bourbon to take him there for a few rifle magazines, since it would set him on the right path to Polis. Chapter 5, in exchange for cartridges. Artyom leaves and tells Zhenya he has some business with Bourbon to take care of. Bourbon is annoyed that Artyom is bringing his gun because of how old and bulky it is, but they continue on anyway. They get through the 100-meter checkpoint easily, and then at the 250-meter checkpoint, the guards harass Artyom, trying to get answers out of him, but he gives enough non-answers that they stop paying attention. Artyom then goes into his mind palace. He's doing that a lot. Thinks back to the advice his stepfather had given about how no two tunnels were alike, and that being able to listen to the tunnels helps you survive. Artyom tries feeling the tunnel. He lets his eyes drift into the darkness and becoming one with it. And soon he's able to hear the melody of it for short spells. It was using intuition and not reason to feel his way through. and he feels like he's on the verge or threshold of understanding something amazing and grand about the world. And then he's like, nope, too scary. And he like stops.
Yeah. Which honestly, fair enough, you know?
he's like, I feel like I'm about to understand the meaning of life. No, thank you.
No. I'm reaching through the veil. No, I think we're good.
Artyom wants to be a stalker, but he's more like a slacker, you know?
Yes, yeah. He's got a lot of dreams.
He's got a lot of dreams.
But
they're mostly memes, though.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. Yeah, poor kid.
Poor kid. He's doing his best, and
he is.
You know, he's the main character, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, exactly. Hopefully it works out.
Hopefully it works out for him. Bourbon finishes talking to the officers, and they can carry on. But one of them warns Artyom that he's allowed to leave with his gun, but he's not going to be able to come back in with it. Bourbon tells Artyom off because Bourbon is a huge piece of shit. It's just like Bourbon is like, fuck you and fuck your fucking gun, you piece of shit.
Yeah,
piece of fucking shit.
And the way it's translated is he literally just goes, I don't know, fuck you. Like it's the fuck you as at the end of a single sentence. It's just this string.
It's like this punctuation. The fuck you is the punctuation at the end of a sentence.
Yeah, exactly. It's fantastic. It's so good.
And Artyom's like, I imagine Artyom's head was like, I'm not coming back in this way necessarily right now. So whatever. So they Bourbon tells him a story as they're walking about a trip he was on where everyone was like tied together with rope, and one of the guys vanished into the darkness, and when they pulled the rope back that he was attached to, there was only saliva left at the end of the rope. And they carry on, and they hear rats moving in the distance, and Artyom is like, he has some trauma around rats. And Bourbon just laughs at him, and he says, rats are good because it means there's always food available. Artyom considers punching him in the face.
Yeah. Again, fair.
They arrive at Prospect Mir. And Artyom agrees to put his gun in a storage locker before he wanders off into the station into the station to check out the bazaar. He looks at different items and thinks about the Kalashnikov, the inventor of the rifle, and how each bullet was equal to a life. And it gets like really deep. Like, did the inventor of the guillotine have the same like feeling? Kalashnikov, by all accounts, is proud of his weapon, but did he realize that every bullet that fired from his gun was life? And like, I was like, damn, Artyom, maybe that's your superpower.
Yeah. Philosophical introspection. Like, wow. Okay.
And then he looks at the stuff that he could buy. It is like a pack of tea is 5 lives. Bourbon finishes up whatever he was doing, and they head off to the southern exit of Project Mir. Bourbon tells him he doesn't know what will happen to him necessarily when the hallucinations hit, so he gives Artyom his gun to hold while they travel. As they walk through the tunnel, Artyom tries to converse with Bourbon to make sure any hallucinations are broken. But something begins to happen to his words as he's saying them. It's like there's a muting effect in the tunnel, and he has to shout in order to be heard. And Bourbon starts zoning out and is answering his questions, but is answering him in these nonsensical phrases. And then probably the scariest moment of the book happens. They're walking, and suddenly Bourbon's head just kind of twists to the side and his neck snaps. And Bourbon says, I have died. And then he falls over dead. And it's like, I was like,
Yeah. Yeah.
Like something about the way the scene is written just gave me the chills.
Well, and the fact that they are in near total darkness at this point as well.
Yeah.
He does a really good job. Dimitri does a really good job of like the atmosphere, which if you're going to write this book, you'd better goddamn be good at writing some atmosphere, because that's basically its own character. And he is. And this is one of those moments. It's just wow.
Artyom checks for vitals, can't find any. He picks up the body and starts carrying him as fast as he can, while the loud noise that he heard earlier returns, filling his ears. Artyom calls out for help, but then he collapses. A man wakes him up, asking Artyom to come with him and leave his friend behind because he doesn't want to turn Shurskaya into a tomb. Artyom protests because they had a deal, but the stranger keeps reminding him that the contract is broken because, well, Bourbon is dead. Artyom stops protesting and carries on with the stranger to the terminal. There are no lights there, unlike Prospect Mere, and the stranger takes him to a tent and puts him down so he can sleep, but not before saying that he predicts that this station will burn down in 420 days. And Artyom's saying that's mighty specific. That's the end of chapter 5.
Yeah.
Everybody is a little fucking weird in this book.
Oh, absolutely. Everyone's got just the a handful of screws loose. It's pretty great.
Scruples.
It makes for some interesting characters, to say the very least.
Yeah. So that's the end of the section for tonight. Phil, what do you think so far?
Really interesting book. It is. I think it speaks a lot to his writing ability, because if you look at the structure of it, it's kind of like I'm learning stuff through people telling me. But you know what I mean? It's like you get a lot of rumors and campfire tales and like outside information coming in. And that can be really, really dull. And for a little while, there really isn't all that much of a plot. He's just doing a shit ton of world building. And all of that, I think, in the hands of a lesser writer, can be really dull, really uninteresting, a do not read. Like I just pass, and move on.
Right.
Because he can be very clever about how he interjects the exposition and the world building into the story. But a lot of the times he's just goddamn telling you.
Yeah.
And he does it. I think he does it really well. It's bleak. It's incredibly, Eastern European. It's got that wonderful kind of like, what a horrifying world, but God damn it, we're gonna laugh and drink a little mushroom tea here and there,
right,
while we can. These people still have lives; they still have interests, and I think that's really cool. I think it's
that's
really
the thing
well done.
That I like is that, like, okay, this is a world and it's lived in, and people have experiences, and they sit around a campfire and they tell stories, they spin yarns. And that's something that is all too often is like missing from a lot of sci-fi and fantasy settings, where the world of Metro 2033, they make a point of mentioning, Dimitri writes at one point that the entire map would be crossed in an hour by a train. But it takes like days and weeks by foot for somebody to cross this metro. But it feels like a very huge world.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing. I don't know why I was just thinking of Star Wars, right?
Right.
And hey, love Star Wars, but you got like planets where it seems like there is a city and one fucking like biome across the entire planet,
right?
And that's a very common
standard sci-fi trap.
That's such it's like each planet's an island, and each island has one city on it.
Right.
And I find that to be a little bit weird and distracting. When you think like, look, okay, how is the planet itself a unified entity enough to join a galactic federation or Republic, like we can barely get like, I'm just thinking about Earth, and I'm like, we can barely get fucking, smaller alliances going and stable for like a dozen years. And that is very, and that's a detail that I like. He talks about in this book, and it's like, yeah, the different stations are at odds with each other. And this is a much smaller universe than most sci-fi settings, and yet it still feels like it is existing and going and moving beyond whatever the main character is doing. So that was something that I was on my mind.
I totally agree. My wife and I watched Dread recently. Actually, I hadn't seen that in fucking years, and I noticed it was on. I don't remember what channel we were on, and I said, "Can we watch this? This is." I remember this being really, really good, and it was. It's campy and fun and just a real good time. But one of the things that jumped out at me is the whole thing takes place on this gigantic block high rise of 200 floors of slum, basically. And they talk about the different gangs there, and the gangs for a while, it was floor to floor. One gang runs floors 6 through 12 or what have you, until this other gang came in and just basically took the whole thing over. And that's so cool. It is, like you said, it's its own kind of little biome, despite the fact that in the grand scheme of things, it's very small. It still has those politics and that those borders, basically.
Right.
And I totally agree. I think he does a really good job with that here.
Yeah. You know what's weird is I was just thinking I haven't seen Olivia Thirlby in anything recently.
I looked it up. I was like, do I know her? Am I supposed to know her? Like, she has a very specific look.
Yeah. I mean, she was in, fucking Juno, wasn't she?
Yes. That was the other big thing she did. Well, I mean, some people would argue the big thing she did.
Right.
It was driving me crazy because I couldn't figure out why I was so insistent on having seen her. And then I realized about halfway through the movie, she makes me think of Frenchie from Grease. Like that's, and I was thinking about that actress the entire time. Like, oh yeah, I don't really, other than Juno, I don't really know her from anything. But
yeah,
it was because she made me think of a movie from like 30 years ago.
So she was in Oppenheimer.
Okay.
And she was also in the ill-fated adaptation of Y the Last Man. Did you ever read Y the Last Man?
I read the first trade of it. I forgot that they tried to turn that into something.
Yeah, she played Hero, the main character's sister.
Right. Interesting.
Yeah. It's all right, yeah, and obviously Carl Urban did an amazing job with never taking his helmet off,
and having the sad boy face the entire time.
Yeah,
a frown so deeply lined into his face that I was almost convinced that he was smiling the whole time, and they computer generated flipped it.
They just flipped it upside down. They turned that smile upside down.
It's that deep of a press in terms of his frown. Fascinating. Very, very fascinating.
Yeah. Let me get the
good movie.
Yeah. Good movie. Should watch it again.
Definitely.
I know Carl Urban has been pushing for another one. I
think they should. They should just rip off a different Hong Kong movie for it and just keep
just
that
call it a day.
Going. Yeah, because it worked the first time. That guy has been in we were talking about it. He has been in like 5 different comic book adaptations.
Yeah,
like he's done it all. He's done basically every big comic book company. It's hilarious. I mean, he is kind of king of the geeks in his own way.
King of the geek, like just looking at his IMDb, it's wild because obviously he's the main character in Doom, um, and which at the time was kind of a twist because you look at him and in 2005 in Doom, he's kind of got resting villain face.
Sure.
So it's a little bit of a surprise that he's the good guy and not The Rock. Yeah. So okay, Red. He was in
Red.
Dread.
Dread.
He's in the Star Trek stuff. He's in the Riddick movies. Really, there was a fun show, cop show, but set in the future that he was in called Almost Human, where he's a cop with an android partner.
Interesting.
Yeah, I remember really liking that. Obviously, he's in the Thor movies recently. He's voiced Sergeant Rock. He's been in The Boys. So many things.
He just the guy, there's a lot of talk of Nathan Fillion being like, one of the leaders of the geeks, and he is, but God, look at this man. Like you said, look at his goddamn resume. It's crazy.
Yeah. I feel like Nathan Fillion loses points for how long The Rookie has been going on.
Yeah.
Because, and I got to tell, here's the thing. I'll admit, I genuinely enjoyed The Rookie in the first few seasons. It was like an unironic enjoyment, and then it became an ironic enjoyment. And now it's like, oh, this is a really terrible TV show now. Because it slid from like, all right, it's a cop show, but they're going through the motions to make it seem less propaganda-y,
Right.
Like there's an episode where he shoots somebody, and like basically it's a full episode of him being absolutely destroyed by the internal affairs people. Like every aspect of his life is turned upside down and all that stuff. And then like in later seasons, he like shoots like 5 people in a scene in like an action sequence. And you're like, no, you're never going to hear the IA guy again.
No, never again.
So yeah, propaganda deducts points from your cred. Personally,
yeah, that's true. I
love Nathan, but you know what I mean.
He's a lovely guy by all accounts, but yeah, same.
Yeah.
All
right, Phil. It's that time of the show where I am legally and contractually obligated to ask you, what are you playing?
Let's see here. It's been a good week for playing games. I wrapped up Road to Empress. Wrapped that one up. That was fun. That was like basically what you want in an FMV game in a lot of ways. I really enjoyed my time with it. I only got like I didn't know that there were multiple endings outside of like dying until like the very last chapter, I want to say, and I ended up becoming a lesbian nun, which was. I was like, that should be that. I know that historically speaking, that's not canon, but I think this should be the regular ending. Sounds great.
Sounds great.
Sounds great. A lot of fun. Very, very. On one hand, it's like so hammy, and over the top and stuff. But then they've got these moments that are like so real in terms of the emotion stuff. Like no spoilers, but like one of the characters' boyfriends die, or he's condemned to death, and don't get me wrong, it's over the top and kind of soap opera-y, but it was like, Jesus, this is horrible. Like it really hits you. Without it completely takes you off guard. Or took me off guard anyway.
Sure.
Really enjoyed it. That was a lot of fun. Looking forward to the second one.
I really like the fact that they one of the patches or one of the things that they did, like a month after the game came out, and it became kind of a big thing because streamers were playing it and all that stuff. They snuck in the 1.
Yeah.
It went from
on the
Road to
banner,
Empress
it's still just Road to Empress, but yeah.
It became Road to Empress 1.
I fucking love that. It's great.
Like, good for you guys.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's terrific. I think it's a great game, and it deserves the attention it got just based on the fucking scale of it.
Yeah. And I have to say, I feel like the player character, I feel like she's really good.
She's excellent. She is she does there is a full evolution of her character.
Yeah.
And she pulls it off from the very beginning, where she's this kind of sweet wilting flower kind of a character, to being a hardcore, a backstabbing bitch by the end of it, and you believe it 100% the entire time. She was fucking outstanding. I really liked her. Love the guy who did the Emperor. He was a lot of fun too.
What's funny is, like, there's that one point where you can like sleep with the Emperor, but it's way too early to like do that, and he basically, you like sleep with him and he like loses interest in you. Yeah, and it's like you actually get a game over out of it.
Why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free? Am I right, ladies? That's yeah. It's really good. It's totally worth the hype. That would also have been on my runner-up list or honorable mention list for last year. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I think I'm about like 75-80% of the way through Still Wakes the Deep. I would have finished that one up too, but I reached a point where I just need to upgrade my fucking computer at some point.
Sure.
I have it at the lowest settings, just for performance. And there's a part where I'm going out to like reset a flare, and you're going out on this like kind of long galley bridge kind of thing, and you're being chased by one of the baddies, and it's a very close chase. And even with the performance as high as I can possibly make it on this claptrap of a machine, there are enough little delays that I realized today I played it and I did it as well as I possibly could have. There were no hiccups from me, and I died, and I went, oh, that's a problem. Which is shit. It is a brilliant game. I'm getting my Alien Isolation fix out of it. Getting my Scottish brogue fix out of it.
It's Alien. It's a on the rails Alien Isolation.
Yes, very much.
Alien Isolation, if it was a walking simulator.
Right. And I'll tell you, if there's anything, the highest compliment I can give the Chinese Room for this is that it made me go, I'm going to have to, I'm not going to pay full price, but I really should give Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 a try. Yeah. These guys are very good at and I know obviously they weren't the starting team that had it. Right. But it just made me go, damn, these guys really are great storytellers. They really know their format. It's really impressive.
They know what's up.
Yeah, and I'm really impressed by it. In the name of trying to get my back catalog down to a dull roar, I've decided I'm going to start like trying to find games that I bought that like at the time were kind of considered classics for their time that I just never got around to playing. So I'm playing Braid. Okay. Which I vaguely know the ending, but it's pretty good. I really like the puzzles. I like the dark twist on Super Mario Brothers and all that shit. I don't know what there seems to be some controversy around it. I don't know.
It's Jonathan Blow. who's, I mean, he's a piece of shit. Yeah.
Yeah, Blow is a piece of shit. That's true. I forgot that, but that is true. But it is very clever, and just a nice, honestly, just a fun platformer in and of itself. I like the watercolor aspect of it, and I'm glad that 50 years after it was released, finally getting around to playing it. So that's nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's me basically. I'm playing, cool. Still bowling on my Switch.
Still bowling. What's your character's name again?
Oh, that's Jackie Disguise.
Jackie Disguise.
Jackie Disguise. I picked up a sponsorship deal with Hammer. Hammer Bowling. Very cool. And the Hammer sponsorship team plays against the sponsorship teams for other bowling ball brands in tournaments.
Amazing.
Fun. Yeah. I'm into tier 9 of what I'm assuming is 10 tiers.
Sure.
Last time we talked about it, I said I might need to turn the difficulty up on it a little bit. I do not. I'm good. I just needed to get to a tier where I wasn't playing against drunk chain smokers.
Right.
I'm playing
just needed
pros
to move up a little bit in the pros, and then it's
that's exactly it.
It's not plumbers anymore. It's
right. So really enjoying that still. Kevin, what are you playing?
Oh, okay. So I played a little bit of Metro 2033 Redux just for the sake of firing it up and getting, hey, how's this compared to the book? And I was like, okay, well, very differently in the opening hour or so. But from what I've looked up about the plot of the game, like, okay, it seems to follow the same beats. It just obviously got more action sheen on top of it. I played Egg Squeeze. Which is a weird game where you basically it's kind of got a buckshot roulette aesthetic. All you see is just like this hand, and your job is to squeeze the egg for as long as possible, but release before it breaks.
This is funny.
So you're trying to get a certain number of points to go to the next level. So there's 3 levels or days, and you basically are on the 3rd day you start like unlocking tools to help you, but they really don't help you. They just cover up more of your screen. It's a funny, weird game, and I don't know. I sat there and I played it for an hour, and it was like, okay, this is funny. I like this. This is neat.
Yeah.
It's so dumb, but I'll probably maybe I'll play it again just to get the second ending, because there's 2 endings.
Nice.
Yeah. But basically, you're hired by a company to test the psychic limits of understanding when the egg is going to break.
I love it. That's crazy.
It's good. I also started playing a game called In Other Waters, which was gifted to me. Did you gift it to me, or did somebody else gift it to me?
I don't know I don't think I gave. I
think I might have. This might have been gifted to me by a cat. But it's In Other Waters. It's a very simple game. Where you have this like overhead view, like map view of a underwater cave system, and you are the AI in a diver's diving suit, and you're helping this diver like scan local fauna and flora and on this extraterrestrial planet as part of a larger mystery to figure out where her compatriot, her co-worker, has disappeared to. And it's the people who made it. It's the same folks who made Citizen Sleeper.
Yeah.
So this was I guess this was their first game. So it's the first game of the Citizen Sleeper people. It's neat. I'm gonna keep playing it. It seems to be it's a pretty chill game. Also,
Yeah.
I'll say.
The aesthetics are really cool. I dig
Yeah,
this.
they do a really great job with color palettes in their games. Otherwise, I've been playing Peak with Camilla off and on for the past for weeks. It's a hysterical game. Fired up Save Room the Merchant because I was a big fan of the original Save Room game, and now I'm
That
playing.
was a great game.
And now I'm playing. I too am going through my backlog, so I was like, "Oh yeah, The Merchant." So I've been going through that, and it really does build up the elements of like Resident Evil 4, like combining jewels to and all that stuff, and selling items, or buying treasures to combine jewels into and selling things back at higher value, and it's definitely a podcast game. Like,
Yeah.
I was listening to the book while I was playing it the other day. I fired up Divinity Original Sin 2 because I was, I loved Baldur's Gate 3, but really hadn't played much of Larian's other stuff, so I figured, why not fire up the thing they made right before Baldur's Gate 3?
Why not, dude?
And it's like, it's very much like Baldur's Gate 3. Different battle system than it uses action points instead of, which is more of like an XCOM thing rather than a Baldur's Gate 3, which uses the D&D like action system, the combat system in Dungeons and Dragons. So I like it so far, and it's also not very forgiving. it's like, quick save a lot. One of the characters in your party, his name is Red Prince. He's this red lizard dude. You're just walking around the first town that you come to, and there's a guy that's just like, finally, the Red Prince, and he attacks you, and the guy is like out levels you by a couple levels by the time, like when you run into him. So he has like 40 armor and 60 hit points. Meanwhile, your guys have like 30 hit points and no armor. So it took me a few tries to knock this guy down, but I got it. But it's fun. I'm enjoying it so far, and it's one of those games where every single NPC has a unique name. And you can,
love that.
Like, talk to all of them and all that stuff. And finally, The Seance of Blake Manor, a game from last year that was sitting in my backlog. And as I'm playing it, and I'm telling you, I'm only 40 minutes in, I'm like, this would have made it on my Game of the Year list.
Yeah.
It's very much, hits that Outer Wilds type of investigation mechanic. You go around rooms. It's also time based, so each action you take makes like 1 minute go forward on the clock, which doesn't seem like a lot, but there's every little thing you investigate in a room will advance the clock 1 minute. So, or anytime you have a conversation with somebody and you're asking them a question, it advances the clock 1 minute. So you're trying to solve the entire mystery in the span of like 2.5 days or something like that. So that's kind of they introduce you, the tutorial area is you arrive at 11 p.m. on Friday night, I believe. And you have to figure something out before midnight. So that kind of introduces you to the fact that your time is limited. And so I did everything. I got everything as much as I could figure out. And then once you get enough clues, it's like form a hypothesis as to what happened. And you do that, and it's fun. I like it.
Nice.
Sands of Blake Manor. A lot of other folks have said it's awesome, and I am agreeing that it is probably going to be a fun experience. So yeah, that's what I have been playing.
Nice.
Yeah. So that'll do it for tonight's episode, folks. If you can, follow us on the social medias. Give us 5 stars or all your thumbs up. All your thumbs up are belong to us. Hey now. That's still a relevant reference, right?
Absolutely it is. Of course it is. Why wouldn't it be?
Yeah.
I ask you.
I ask myself that all the time. And as we have been doing recently to end the podcast, in the immortal words of Hannah Einbender, go Birds, fuck ice, free Palestine.
Love it.